Bedtime Stories with the Story Club for Kids. Hello, children. It's time to wind up for the day and settle down for the night. I hope all of you have brushed your teeth and are ready for bed. Now, let's begin our first bedtime story for tonight. This story is called The Adventure of the Lost Compass. In a small coastal town named Seaside Bay, there lived a young boy named Jamie. He was a curious and adventurous child who loved nothing more than exploring the cliffs and beaches near his home. His favorite possession was a compass that his grandfather had given him. A beautiful brass compass with a glass cover that gleamed in the sunlight. The compass was not just a tool for direction. It was a symbol of his grandfather's adventurous spirit, and Jamie carried it with him wherever he went. One bright Saturday morning, Jamie decided to go on an adventure to a place he had never explored before, Rocky Point, a jagged outcrop of rocks that jutted out into the ocean. His parents had always warned him to be careful near Rocky Point, as the waves could be rough. But Jamie was determined to explore its hidden coves and secret tide pools. Jamie packed a small bag with snacks, a water bottle, and a notebook for sketching. He clipped the compass to his belt loop and set off. The journey to Rocky Point was a long walk along the beach, with the sea breeze tussling his hair and the seagulls calling overhead. As he reached the point, he noticed that the tide was lower than usual, exposing more of the rocky landscape. Jamie climbed over the rocks, discovering starfish and crabs hiding in the pools of water. He carefully sketched them in his notebook, feeling a sense of excitement with each new discovery. But as he ventured deeper into the rocks, he did not notice the clouds gathering overhead or the waves beginning to grow stronger. Suddenly, a large wave crashed against the rocks, knocking Jamie off balance. He stumbled and fell, his bag slipping from his shoulder and tumbling into the churning water. Panic surged through him as he watched the bag drift out to sea. Inside the bag was his compass, the precious gift from his grandfather. Jamie scrambled to his feet and tried to reach for the bag, but it was too far out. The waves were growing and the sky had turned dark with storm clouds. He knew he had to get back to shore before it was too late. With his heart racing, Jamie carefully made his way back across the rocks, slipping and sliding as the rain began to fall. He felt a mix of fear and sadness, worried not only for his own safety, but also for the loss of his compass. By the time he reached the safety of the beach, he was drenched and exhausted. Back at home, Jamie's parents comforted him and made him hot cocoa to warm him up. He told them about the lost compass, and they reassured him that they could always find another compass, but there would never be another Jamie. His parents' words helped him feel better, but he couldn't shake the feeling of loss and that of guilt that because of his act, his grandfather's precious compass was lost. The next day, the storm had passed and the sun was shining again. Jamie decided to go back to Rocky Point, hoping against hope that he might find his bag and compass washed up on the rocks. He searched the shoreline, carefully examining every nook and cranny. He found pieces of driftwood, shells, and seaweed, but there was no sign of his compass. Just as he was about to give up, he saw a glint of brass among the rocks. He rushed over and found his bag, battered but still intact, and inside, miraculously, was his compass. The glass cover was cracked and the needle was stuck, but it was still there. Jamie was overjoyed. He knew that the compass would never work the same way again, but he didn't care. It wasn't just a tool for direction. It was a symbol of his grandfather's spirit. And now it was a reminder of his own adventure and the lessons he learned. He carefully placed it in his pocket and made his way back home, grateful for the safety of the shore and the warmth of his family's love. From that day on, Jamie's compass sat on his bedside table, a reminder of his adventure and a lesson in resilience. He continued to explore the beaches and cliffs, but he always stayed a little farther from the edge and kept a watchful eye on the waves. And as he grew older, he shared his story with others, reminding them that adventure is not just about finding new places, but also about finding your way back home. The end. And that's all for tonight. Good night, sleep tight, and don't let the bedbugs bite. Bye bye, children.